So many friends.
He was a plumber to the stars.
Was he really?
Yes, he
Oh,
was.
I didn't know that.
He put in Barbara Streisand's bidet. He did, and he put in Jack Lemon's wife bidet. And who else? All the
Bidets must have been popular,
For a while they were.
Yeah. Somebody had gone over to Europe and
That's very
and
funny.
saw them and.
Do you mean when he had a good
and
life
he
in
didn't
early
call
life when he
himself
was a
Andy
kid?
Scheises. He
Did
called
you mean my
himself
dad
Andy
had a good life
Stanley.
when he was a kid?
He called himself
You guys
what?
took care of him?
Wasn't it Andy Stanley?
You took care of him?
I took care of him. Are you kidding? We lived in the same room on William Street. It was a small room, but I don't remember the way the house faced. But at night, at dark, there was a beacon out in the distance. I don't know where it was. All of a sudden, this light would come flashing through the room, the white light, and then the red light, and then all night long it would just go around. And we had that for entertainment, you know. I don't know what it was, what kind of beacon it was, but it was for airlines, I think, or something. And
It
Andy
was a
and
beacon for
I,
the airplanes.
we did grow up together. I ended up going away to school, and Andy came right behind me. And like I said, he made friends so easy, and he was so easy to like.
And they went to Washington School. Gloria loved it. The boys hated it. But Gloria loved it. And Martha sent pictures of Gloria at Washington School. And when she came back, one time, we went to visit the school. We went down to Duchenne and over to Washington School. And then we went to the house where they were born. And the people there invited us in, and they got to see their old house
Oh, that's neat.
and how small it looked to them as they were older. And
Sure.
it looked big when they were little, you know. But
Is that the house where my dad would sneak out the window?
But
no, that was in Lincoln.
Was that the
Oh.
house? That wasn't the house where my dad would sneak out the window?
no, that was in Lincoln on about I don't remember, L Street, something like that.
Near the country club.
No.
No?
It was across from
near
the Capitol. It was
downtown.
a Tower View Apartments.
And Andy came home late one night, and you have to understand, Ted, our brother in Las Vegas, was the baby. You know, he was the last one. He was a pain in the neck.
Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I can't wait to tell people you said that.
And Andy came home late one night. And, I mean, it was really late, like 2, 3 in the morning, and he couldn't get in the apartment. So he goes around, he starts to open the window, and he reaches in, and all Ted sees is this hand coming through the window. And that set him nuts. And next thing you know, here comes Papu, and man, he's mad. I mean, Andy is in big trouble. I mean, he not only woke up everybody in the apartment complex.
And he kept saying, Ted, shh, it's me, be quiet, be quiet.
Ted didn't get over it for a long time. It scared him so bad.
And then tell him about the time that Andy, well, your dad liked to play pool.
Yes, I've heard that.
And he was always down at the pool house, and it would be time for Dean to shift. And it was at noon when Papu wanted them both there for lunch, because he needed them. And so they called Andy, I don't know how many times. and in he saunters. And he walks into the kitchen and Papu clocked him. Just clocked
He
him.
must have had to reach pretty high.
Yes, but he clocked him. I don't know if he was late after that or not.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was late the whole rest of his life.
Now, I heard a story where Dad would go over the fence at the country club and play golf at night.
That's
That's
probably
we
true.
lived, I don't remember the Calvert, I don't remember the street. But yeah, you could jump over the fence and you were on the 7th hole. And John would go over and play golf. That was before either Andy or I got interested in golf. When we were younger and working, Andy and I used to go out to Pioneer Park, and we'd play 18 holes of golf every Wednesday. That was the day the restaurant was closed. And so we'd go out there and play 18 holes. That was, you know, putt-putt golf. Hit one, kick one.
Yeah. How did you guys get interested in golf? Because your dad didn't play.
Who didn't play?
Your dad didn't play, so who introduced you to golf?
That was a problem, marrying somebody from Europe that was born and raised there. We didn't have a dad that took you outside and taught you to play basketball, baseball. He didn't know anything about those things. You had to go out and learn on your own. All he knew about was work. If you didn't work, you were out of here. You had to work. And when
That's
we
part of
had
our work ethic,
the,
isn't
we
it?
had the restaurant in Lincoln.
Not
it was
me.
I'm like,
Not me. I don't
you
hear.
took me a second. I'm like, wait, hold
It
what?
was a comedy, really, the way we had to work, because we had to be there at 7, if you can imagine. We're still in high school. And we got to be at the restaurant at 7 o'clock, washing windows, washing dishes. Yeah, we did every job in the restaurant. I mean, we did all of them.
Did Papu not play cards? All those Greek guys play
He
cards.
played poker at the Elks Club. That
Your
was
grandfather.
that
Yeah.
was what he really enjoyed. But as far as sports were concerned, he loved baseball, but only to watch it. They didn't play those games where he grew up. He grew up in Aeon, Greece. There was no basketball, baseball, football. There was no such thing.
Did
So we didn't have a dad that could take you outside and
Teach you that.
teach you.
Did Uncle Ted, did he go to college on a golf scholarship?
That's
Isn't
my
didn't he have a golf
recollection.
So
Yeah.
He did? He went
Yeah,
to
that's
USC
my
on a
recollection.
So I
scholarship.
think he went to UNL on a golf scholarship, I think.
No, I went to
Oh.
USC.
He went to USC.
USC, that's right.
Yeah, that's my
Oh,
recollection.
wait.
And why did,
He was at UNL for a little bit, because I've got UNL yearbooks that have pictures of him.
yeah,
Really?
yeah, he was considered the big man on campus.
Ted was?
Yeah,
University
Mom
of-
told
he
us.
was a staff.
5'4".
Wait, where
Yeah.
is this?
Uncle Teddy was considered the hottest guy on campus
Which campus?
at UNL.
Yeah, he did go to school there for.
Who was?
Uncle
maybe
Ted?
only been a
Is
year or
UNL
two.
the University of Nebraska in Lincoln?
Isn't that where he met Aunt Judy?
No, you met her in LA.
Right. Like the
Yeah,
rest.
they-
Huh.
Right,
Where they were gonna save him.
right.
I'll
Ted,
find out. I'm gonna call Sherry and.
Ted was 9 years younger than we were.
Yeah.
And
So he was still in high school when they moved to LA.
Huh. What is it that why I recall that? Now, what about Wentworth? Why were you, did you go to Wentworth Military Academy also?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He had more ribbons than anybody.
Here's a story, if you want to know the true story. Because I got in trouble, and I had to go before the judge. And the judge told Papu, you either send him to reform school or away to school. You send him somewhere, get him out of Lincoln.
What'd you do to get in trouble?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you that.
Why not?
Because he was a bad boy.
Okay.
Why you got in trouble.
He didn't
But
get
that's
in
the
trouble.
story I tell. The judge says,
Oh, so you didn't get in trouble.
He picked out the school out of a magazine.
He picked the school out of a magazine.
He did.
Papu did or Uncle Dean did?
Uncle Dean.
Oh. All right.
Get away so they didn't have to work so hard.
I was gonna say, it was probably easier.
well, it was funny. I went, and then Andy came behind me a year. And then it was 4 or 5 years before John came, and then a couple of years before Ted came. But Andy and I were there.
Yeah, his
Together.
pictures of then.
You guys were there during the end of the war?
We were, the what?
You were there in the mid-40s at the end of the war?
Oh, the Korean War.
I graduated in 45,
1946.
46, okay.
From what?
And Andy graduated in 47, and he met Nancy, and they were going together for a long time, and they eventually got married. And then Andy went to Korea. Andy was in Korea for a couple of years. And you never told me the story, but at night in Korea, there's no street lights, you know. You're just out there in the wilderness, and you can't see nothing. Andy said you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. All there was a Chinese and you. And he said it was unbelievable the way we survived, but he got overrun twice in the unit he was in. Andy got an award.
You got
Bronze
a
medal.
Bronze Star.
Yeah,
It's a Bronze Star, yeah.
he did.
Do you remember which unit he was with?
He what?
Do you remember which unit he
Do
was
you-
with?
Which unit was he with? Do you remember?
I would have it.
10th floor or?
I'll have it. I have the star and the certificate for you.
Yeah, if you let me know,
I will.
I can read you history of the unit.
That'd be great. That'd be really
Yeah,
great,
'cause I
because my
just
boys are
finished-
so interested.
I just recently finished up a book on the Battle of Joseon Reservoir
Okay.
and what happened there in the 50s.
He was a lieutenant, first lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was awful. It was freezing, lost people, you know. He said when they first got there and they put them on the train to go to where they were gonna go, they hadn't supplied them yet with any weapons. They had no guns. And they're like, where's our stuff? And it was days before they got, so they were just like sitting ducks on this train. Terrible.
Martha, you have a servant's heart.
My pleasure. You do.
So I'm trying to think what else I was going to ask you.
Mom, did you eat lunch?
I did, thank you. Yes, I had black bean soup and fruit.
Maybe we should get more dirt on Uncle Ted's.
Oh, yes, let's
Because
do.
he's still around and there's a possibility of blackmail if we ever need to.
I think so.
Who's gonna blackmail who?
We're gonna blackmail Uncle Ted.
The who?
I just texted with Sherry to ask about the UNL question. But I'm gonna let her know when I get home so I can go over to her house and sit on her new porch, because I haven't.
Oh, you haven't sat on the
I
new
haven't
porch?
sat on the new porch yet, so
Oh,
I'm gonna go sit
my.
on the new porch and show her the photos and talk and ask some more questions. of her.
So,
The school I'm talking about, Wentworth, was opened in the early 1800s. It went bankrupt this year.
Yeah,
Just
just
was, I
recently
saw
I
found
got a
out.
letter.
Me
They
too.
did.
Me
Yeah.
too.
same here.
Well,
Yeah,
military fell
I
out
got the
of
letter
favor
last year.
with
Yeah.
young folks.
I have the yearbooks. I
You
have
what?
your guys' yearbooks.
Oh, you
Well,
do?
I have them from like my dad
dad.
and Ted. I don't have them from, I think you guys would have been too old. I don't think the books would have gone back then.
Tell me what she's
That's
saying.
long ago.
She has the Wentworth yearbooks from Dad and Uncle Ted.
Yeah.
What did
You
your
have-
dad do when he graduated from Wentworth?
Went to UNL.
Yeah,
Oh, he went to-
UNL and graduated with a history degree that did a lot for him.
Hey, liberal arts are a thing.
I
Now,
I think that-
And
what?
Oh, wait. doesn't
he
it?
would have, I wish he would have gotten his education
because he was so smart.
because he would have been a phenomenal high school teacher.
Ah.
who did
'Cause
what?
he liked being around young people.
Katie said she wished when Dad got his degree in history at UNL, she wished he would have gotten
His education.
his education so that he could teach.
Are you talking about
John.
John?
He would have been a great high school teacher. He liked being around young people.
He did, but I don't think he could do anything but restaurant.
I never knew what his degree was when he graduated.
It was in social studies, history, actually, history. Yeah, he loved history.
Yeah.
Civil War, that was his thing.
It was?
Yeah, he liked the Civil War. He liked to read up on the Civil War.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Well, there was too much space between John and I, and Andy and John and Ted. We were so far apart. Those two grew up together, and Andy and I grew up together.
Right.
It's just the way it happened.
Right.
Now I remember what it was. You were running, it was back in the 1970s or 80s, and you got a staph infection.
Right. Yeah, he was
Do you remember that?
engineer. Yeah, maritime
That could be.
engineer, yes.
Yeah, yeah, and it created some serious problems for you. I remember Dad talking about that.
I do.
And it might have had something to do with the cold too, who knows?
Did Yaya lose babies in between Dad, Andy, and John?
How much what?
Did she lose babies? I mean, why was there such a long
Was it like a
space?
year after? And she
How
was
much space
very
between-
forgetful.
No,
So
why
my
was
guess
there
is
so
that
much
she maybe had
space?
Alzheimer's.
She didn't
Yeah,
have
she couldn't
miscarriages
remember
or
who her
something?
son was, and
No.
she couldn't
Not that you
remember
know.
what had happened to her.
Uh,
And then
Andy
but
got
then
his
we
commission,
didn't- And we always
as you
would get
know.
Christmas cards from them.
I
and
think
always sent them, but I
John
haven't
got
heard
his
anything from them
commission
for a few
too,
years.
in the National Guard.
Their other
Yeah.
son.
And
That was in the National Guard?
I don't know the
Right.
history on
Right.
Ted,
Right,
And you
or if
might
he
be
had
able
any
to get
Yeah.
hold of him.
military
because they
experience.
just start, but I would bet you that
We were
she's
just too far apart.
I
Yeah.
don't know about Andrew.
Yeah.
Different question for you about Yaya. Did she have any other babies? Did she have miscarriages?
Maybe he moved up there. I don't
Other
know.
than this 5,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not that
because
I'm
what the
aware of.
last time
Okay.
Glory was visiting with us, we went
How many
to
years
Long Island,
between
we had lunch with them,
Andy and John?
and she was
How much
very
difference?
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very clear
Um,
that there was something
There had
not
to
right.
be
But she was always so
5,
dark.
maybe 6
Yeah,
years.
yes.
I bet there was something going on.
I know you did. I
Yeah.
know.
Good thing.
Those, oh, it was.
Huh.
Those pictures were so great.
All right.
That was a
When
great trip.
when Andy went to Las Vegas,
They're 15
Ted
So almost 20
was
years
just
ago.
entering college.
Right.
And I think when they
Because
got to
they're almost
LA,
like
he
69.
finished
Yeah,
high
those are
school
almost 20 years.
and then
Yeah.
went to USC or UCLA,
Yeah, those are great pictures.
where eventually he taught
And I do know
workman
that.
comp law
Did you?
Yeah.
at USC, I think it was.
And UCLA.
Yeah.
That's how he met Sherry.
Oh,
Did
he was
what?
really
That's how
good.
he met
Yeah.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Right,
I
he was her
usually-
professor.
She was his student.
But sometimes then I get.
What year was
I
it?
get
Sherry?
bored.
Oh.
I mean, I get bored and then I won't write.
I don't know,
Yeah,
a long
she
time
was-
ago.
It was a, yeah,
The
she was his
restaurants and
student.
Things that we did.
She had a crush on the professor.
Woohoo.
This is really fun. You don't.
So I did
And then if
remember
people want to know,
incorrectly.
you should- you know, they say, "Oh, I'm going Greece," or
It
"Should
was
I go?" You whip out
in
your book.
California
Yeah.
where Uncle Teddy was the big
Yes.
man on campus.
Yeah,
He must have
Wednesday.
gone-
Yeah, I always like to do that.
I remember hearing, maybe he just
We
went
did too.
back
I
and
think
spent
we got
time with Dad at UNL.
Hotel.
Might be.
Because that was the only place. we
Might
all
be.
three ate
I don't know.
breakfast. We ate breakfast there.
I
Um,
got those books on
Did your
there.
mom
I
go there?
think that's where we got it.
No.
Sick.
Yes, she did. 2 years.
Awful.
No, she, not from UNL though.
Oh, yeah.
She went to you.
Had some-
No,
Did-
she, it
Right.
was,
some kind that.
it was a little
Yeah.
business college that what she went to. And she got
Yeah.
her, like,
Dean and
associates.
Gloria had the bomb.
I
Did-
don't think it was a degree, I think it
No.
was a
yeah, it was just,
certificate type of thing.
yeah.
She went to UNL.
Was Ellie a nutritionist?
She started at UNL, and she was in a sorority. That's where she met Dad, and she quit
I don't remember that.
and went to work for the telephone company. And yeah,
What's the matter?
went to work for the telephone company. And then
Yeah, because there was a
so-
sorority sister and
They don't wash, what is it?
a frat brother.
did
They were dating and got mom and dad together on a date.
on a blind date
Because there was
on
coffee.
Valentine's Day,
Oh,
I remember
really?
and they
that.
had
I
fried
just don't remember-
chicken.
I just don't remember her going to UNL.
and then he blew her off, and almost didn't ask her out again, and they almost weren't an item.
He was a jerk. Ghosted on her.
So, Uncle Dean, do you remember, did Dad ever get in trouble as a little boy?
As a schoolboy,
Yes,
you mean at Wentworth?
Oh, just
anytime. We just want to know if our dad got in trouble,
Oh,
or with Papu.
you know, because there was so much space between us.
You never heard about it then, did you?
Because we were either married and gone, and they were just growing up. They were just in. Beverly used to babysit
I babysat
John
Ted.
and Ted.
Oh,
You
golly.
did?
John and Ted,
She babysat them.
when I was 16.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes,
Before you knew him?
No, I was going with Dean.
Oh, you were going with
But
Dean when you were
Gloria-
16?
Oh, yes. Gloria and Georgia Demas would like to go, they had the A's, the Lincoln A's were a baseball team. And they loved to go out with some of those boys. And so they would get a babysitter when the folks were out of town, and it was Barbara Haining and I. And the kids, we'd always have some kind of a problem, because they had a dog named Roger. And Roger got hurt one time. We had to take the dog to the vet. And so that was the only problems we had. The kids were good. You know, they played in the mud and had good times, but they were good.
We have a picture of John and Ted sitting on the curb in Lincoln playing in the mud, and Beverly babysitting, right?
You do?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
I should get all my pictures
She
out.
was the
It'd be
babysitter.
forever if I did.
That's right. That's just to show you how much space there was between us and why it was so difficult to know about
What was going
anything
on.
about their history.
Hello?
Like you know about Andy,
Yes.
because Andy was right next to me, right? Andy was
Yes.
smart. He really was smart. He was good in
Yes.
school. But so was John.
Yes.
He was really good in school, and Ted. But I hated school.
Yes, yes.
Well, when I got out of the service, people asked me, "How did you avoid Korea?"
That would be
I
wonderful.
said, "I didn't
because
avoid it.
Dina
It
had
avoided
had
me.
Medicaid since February.
I enlisted. You know what I mean? I was walking by the recruiting station one afternoon. I was so bored.
You know,
I
they
could
have an
hardly-
800 number, and
you
you
know,
won't get
there
the
was just-
pension
There was a
pension
guy
line.
sitting there,
You'll
and he
get,
mentioned to me, "Come on
just
in."
the Unum.
It was a
And
recruiter,
then
so
they
I
will
walked
give
in
you
and
to
sat
the
down. He
man
says,
that takes
"Listen,
care of the pensions.
if you enlist in the
His
Army
name, I believe, is Matthew.
before September 30th,
And I don't know that I have
1946,
that number.
you will get all the benefits of the GI Bill of Rights."
Okay,
He says, "Nowhere in the world
I
could
am.
you
I
go
will stay on the
and
line.
get those what you got, what you can
All right.
get. When I left the
Okay, and
service,
don't hang up, you said.
I had 4 years of college if I wanted it, free, and $120 a month because I was
I won't
married.
hang up. All right.
You know, we were married, but I chose not to. I chose not to go. I just hated school that bad. But Andy didn't. Andy was good, and Ted was really good, and so was John. They were all smart.
Well, Gloria was too, for sure.
Yeah, Gloria was smart too. Yeah, she could. She was smart. Yeah.
She was smart and she could outsmart.
Yeah.
She was smart. She was smart in school and street smart. She had it both.
Well, you knew her better than I did because you had to put up with her for a lot of years.